I would go as far as take the chopper and wave it on your face. Take the knife, at least sharpen it in front of you. Like, if I'm not going to use it, you know what I'm saying? Sang a bit.
Are humans inherently bad? This is your daily catch-up. Hey guys, if you're enjoying the Daily Ketchup podcast, subscribe. Thank you.
Oh, he's so sexy.
Thank you. Oh my god, did you all see the slashing that happened at Beach Road?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think it's probably the most circulated video of 2022 so far.
Did y'all see every single video?
I think I did.
I didn't.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, there was a chopping that happened at Beach Road where a guy was chasing down his separated wife, according to Straits Times, and then really chopped her. She was bleeding like crazy, and then there were restaurant staff that helped to chase him away with their furniture and stuff.
Very uncoordinated, I must say, but very brave of them.
Yes, but he came back, So after he ran away, right, he came back. Then he was holding the chopper to his neck, kind of threatening if you come closer with any of your ladders or chairs, I will.
Which to them is like, go ahead lah.
Yeah, why you threatening me with a good time again?
It's like...
you become responsible for him.
No, but why would they want to go closer to him?
No, so they back off. So he's coming back towards the wife, holding like that to ask them to back off. Then the wife run away. He chased. Then that's when the alley shots happen.
Right.
Then her hand dangling all. Then he go there, the chopper break. Then he tried to use the chopper to slice her neck.
Again, trigger warning. Should probably mention this before that.
Okay. I saw all the videos.
I didn't dare to watch. Yeah.
There was only one that I didn't see, right? And it was because there was this Telegram channel that was basically posting almost everything, and then they had one that was censored and said if you really want to see this, DM me for it, and I didn't want to do. I think it was too much. I regret seeing any of it.
I had no warning. It was Sheena. She just said, John, you see this? And she started with the hand dangling one. Yeah.
Wow.
No, but it was quite crazy because I think the first clip that I saw was the one where he was chopping her behind the car, and then people started throwing stuff at him, which to me was it's so incredibly brave to aggravate a man holding a chopper. That's crazy, yeah.
But how can you not do anything when you see something like that?
Absolutely. Which I feel it's I would hesitate first and then maybe go.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you could see the thought process. I mean, I thought it was incredibly brave of those people, but I could see the thought process. It began with the red chair, right? They took the red chair out. Then when he reached already, he realized, what am I gonna do with this red chair? This gives me 1 meter range. He tosses it, and then he takes the red chair again, and then he brings there, and he's like, I can't. And he tosses it, and then he comes out with a ladder. Then you could see the thought process of you trying to increase that range, and then with the ladder, he tossed it.
Yeah.
Everything throwing. There's also the one where they will go up, then they try to hit him, then they'll run. They run very fast.
No, but it's so crazy because look, it could have been any of we feel safety in numbers, right? But he could have just turned around and you are coming at him and he could have just thrown the knife at you.
Oh yeah.
I did not think of that.
That was the thing that I was so sure it was going to happen, and I'm so glad it didn't. But I was like, oh my god, these guys are so brave. Then the guy with the signboard also, he just kept poking and wow, incredible. But apparently, so based on the news, we found out Denise mentioned that I think they were separated. So the husband and the wife. Apparently, there's allegations of the wife cheating on him lah. Hence, he reacted in a massive rage
with a competing store across the road.
Yes. With the chef like down the road or something.
Selling
like
the same thing that they sell, if I'm not wrong.
So there's a betrayal on multiple levels.
But this is all assumptions at this point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I find it interesting how when we first saw the video, everyone was like, oh my god, this guy crazy, this guy 100% in the wrong. Then after that, it starts adding to the convo, this cheating point starts coming out. And then people start bringing up mental health, from COVID, all that kind of stuff. And then I just wonder, does it start absolving him of whatever he's doing, or in a sense, taking away responsibility from that? It's so interesting how last time, right, I feel there wouldn't have been these conversations, but then nowadays, mental health start coming in, and then after that,
and then suddenly everyone is more understanding of the guy's action.
I think there's a line.
I feel like I don't want to take away from this tragedy, right, or the experience that they faced, and I'm not saying this is what happened, but in my experience dealing with raging, angry people holding weapons, right, it rarely. And I'm not saying once again that this is what happened, but it rarely becomes somebody takes a knife so angry and takes a knife and wants to hack you. And more often than not, one point that I consider when I look at these things, which is kind of what you brought up as well, was he egged? Was it, for example, he saw them and he just had to scold them? right? And then he said, oh, I'm gonna take the chopper and chop you. And then he just wanted them to leave, for example. And then he said, you dare chop me,
Right. Then he went crazy.
Wow. Then at that point, you feel betrayal on 3 levels. Then your manhood at stake. Then literally these guys like kind of has your wife.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then he's like, okay, I mean, if I back down from this, I'm done. Because it's not like, oh, I'm gonna go back to my home country. No, this is where you live, this is where you work, this is your home. Like for me, I feel like if I ever spew out these words of, oh, I'm gonna chop you, and then you'll be like, come on, and then it's right in front of my store, right? I don't know whether I can control myself now. I just take the knife and wave around, you know what I mean?
And another thought that I had, right, while watching this, or when hearing the stories about the slashing come out, is that what is an appropriate way to react to finding out that your partner cheat? Like, is the answer since we say no to violence, right? Then is it just I just have to suck it up, say okay, I'll break up, then that's it? Like, I have no right. Do I have a right to be angry and express my anger?
Like especially to find out that they're married and then they have kids, right? Okay whether or not they're separated, but like to find out that your wife like cheated on you, and to suddenly go like, oh my god, my entire life is crumbling over your actions. It's not my action. To suddenly feel so helpless in that situation. Wow, I really don't know what's the appropriate level of like. I
mean, but of course, this is a very extreme level of reaction. But then, so that also kind of got me thinking, like, what is the worst thing that I've done to my partner, right? Or what is the worst thing that I've done in general? The most hurtful thing that if I can really think about is that during one of the arguments, right? Like, I think a few months into my relationship with my ex, that I just said like, oh, actually, I don't love you at all. like I don't see you. I don't see you as a girlfriend at all.
Wow,
then that one was really like. She like walked out of the house.
Right. Wow, that's quite brutal.
Then after that, like I feel like that is the one line that continues sticking with me, like not to this day, but like after the breakup, right, it continues sticking with me to like, wow, that was a really hurtful moment. And if someone actually said that to me, I would have been really upset about it. But that's the max law. Like, okay, I don't know how to compare emotional abuse and physical abuse.
I've said a lot of shit to people in my head. And I was very proud of myself for saying it, but I've never said it. But I know if I say it out loud, right, it will probably be fucked up.
So you're proud of yourself for just thinking of a comeback?
Yeah, and then
he's not smiling to himself during the fight.
So I have a lot of fake conversations.
The bar is at the MRT station, right?
I have a lot of fake conversations with people because I'm very bad with like real life confrontation, right? For some reason, I just end up crying. But like,
hey, me too.
Right? But like, because I get very passionate about something, even if I feel especially that I'm right, lah.
Which like, is always.
so I get into the situations where I rather just have the fake conversation in my head and then just play it out and then just go, oh, okay, I won that fight. Nice.
So you argue. Then you start smiling to yourself. Then you're like, okay.
Yeah, and then in my head, I walked away from that really, damn shook.
And that's good enough for you?
Sometimes. Because, okay, so I've been to therapy, right? And like something that we do is the empty chair therapy, maybe what it's called. So basically what happens is that somebody who maybe you've lost in life or like have like lost connection or whatever, who you don't have closure with, and basically you enact as though they are right there, and then you say everything that you want to say to them out loud. And that has helped, right? If I don't want to pay for that therapy session, I do it in my head lah. Right. I just say it out loud.
Wait, but in the therapy, you actually talking to an empty chair?
Yeah.
Like the therapist pulls out another chair?
Yeah.
And she's beside you?
She's beside me going through, okay, and then after you said this, if this person says this, what would you reply to them? So it's not like trying to fake as though that person is really talking to you, but
then the person just have to make the therapist make the voice.
Yeah. Lower, higher. But yeah,
then she ran to sit at the chair, then she ran back. Wow, busy.
You gotta pay her the big bucks, you know. But yeah lah. Then like I found a lot of closure from a lot of different situations from that. But the one in particular, like if for example it's quite expensive, right? So then I just played the scenario on my head, lor.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think it's ever come to a point, right, where you actually wanted to hit someone? Okay, like hit your partner.
Oh no.
And no, can't relate.
I feel like, okay, it's really, I'm not trying to like virtue signal or whatever, right? But I feel it's more satisfying to hurt with words than to hurt with physical.
Okay, I don't think that's virtue signaling.
It's really not.
You're signaling nothing.
I'm saying that, no. The part that I'm not violent, right? I would definitely not hit my partner, like any partner, right? But it's also because I feel like it's more shook to like say something
Sticks
mean.
and stones may hurt me.
But I have to say I have violent tendencies though. I'm very, very angry.
Have you beaten up an ex-boyfriend?
No lah. Never.
You hit lah, you slapped before.
What is considered slap though?
No. So there was
open palm.
That was
contact.
I have one situation where I was really out of impulse. I realized once I slept, I realized shit. Yeah, I didn't mean to, but it
like
was
a partner, your partner.
Yeah. So my ex-boyfriend, one time we were in a public space somewhere at a mall or something, and then he said something that I was really very pissed off at. Then I just like, yeah. And then the minute my hands swing, right, I know already. Like,
No,
it was
but like
wrong.
hard or not? Like
No lah, cause I know already it was wrong. Then I just
It's not a playful thing lah.
It stopped halfway then
It
it
was a
became
really
playful.
tulan slap lah.
it was meant to be a tulan slap lah.
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
stopped halfway there like. But he was so pissed off after that because he knew that I meant that slap.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. Like even today, I'm working with my therapy on this lah. But even today, when I get very angry at the conversation, right, because I cannot react to that person, I have no outlet, right. So after the conversation, right, I'll go back to a private space or whatever. And I just like
Oh.
You whack like
I
something
whack
lah.
something. I have to whack very hard or I scream. That kind, like really quite bad.
So actually going for MMA
shit.
is really useful lah.
Yeah. So I enjoy MMA.
Sometimes you just need to take it out in a very safe space.
No, yeah, just like yesterday only, like my boyfriend Alvin, where he asked me, "Oh, do you want to go for like Pilates class or whatever?" Huh? You see me doing that? I said, "No, I want to do this."
Then he's scared of that conversation.
Then he's like, "Yeah, okay."
But I think going for these classes, right, as much as it's a very, very good outlet for your frustration, it also makes you more violent.
Oh.
Really, man?
I feel because like after a while you start feeling like you are fit. You start feeling like maybe you are a good fighter.
You get a sense of your power, like your strength.
Yeah, and then you walk around the street thinking I can take you. You know what I mean?
But you can what?
Yeah, exactly. So that's why these thoughts start entering your head.
But the power comes from knowing I can, but I won't.
Joshua, is that you? Callback joke that few people will get.
That's a very deep cut.
I think I left pet somewhere and just go home before. But it's not like I was a ride lah, you know, and like, we didn't have a car. I just left.
Oh, I done the same thing.
Well, with car, I think it's doubly busted. I'm not saying it's any less busted. I think I am saying it's less busted. Yeah, but I think I left before.
Then after that, how to resolve?
I think it was the angriest she ever was.
Shit.
Wow.
Cannot imagine
Especially
that
because you
day.
have to go home alone.
Yeah,
Stewing
then all
in
that
the
time you
anger.
just.
Wait, as in she obviously knew that you walked off like to go away, or you were just gone.
Oh no! Like, I mean, this is like maybe 7 years ago. I don't know lah. But in my head it was like a dramatic. You go, then I just left. That kind. I don't even know what was it.
He's so stressed.
Yeah.
No, because I think I mentioned on a previous episode, right? Like when Nat was in KL, then she don't have data also. Then we fought, then I left her. Then after that I realized,
Oh yeah.
She can't go
that's
home.
pretty busted, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, then-
Overseas. That's overseas though.
Yeah, no, but I realized that I also did the same once in Singapore also.
Huh?
Yeah, because we were working in the same place, right? Like in our old office, and then I think we just fought, right? And we usually cab together. I usually call the cab, and then we get in there, and then we leave, right? And I just said, "You find your own
Not
way
our
home."
office lah.
No, last time we went to Tanjong Pagar,
Right.
I was like, "You find your own way home," then I just left.
Huh? Why would y'all want to do that kind of thing? I'm very angry when
Confirm ah. No, I
But
think
it's
we
like,
know that.
is
That's
it-
why.
Oh.
No, because like okay, you walk around thinking that I can take you, right? Same.
okay, settle
Right?
me back.
No, so I feel like what would trigger me, right? Like if we go back to that chopping accident, right? Is if there's someone say, chop me
Yeah.
and then you
When you're very
feel
easily
like I
triggered,
wouldn't.
the bar is very low.
Then I feel like
Oh Lord.
I would. I mean maybe I would go as far as take the chopper and wave it on your face. I feel like my ego maybe is that fragile that I would at least walk back into my kitchen, take the knife, at least sharpen it in front of you, like if I'm not gonna use it, you know what I'm saying? Sang a bit. That I would lah. So if like my partner challenges me, right, to the point whereby I know you're not gonna hurt me, because you can't physically hurt me. You're gonna go to jail forever. So I'm gonna say whatever I want to push all your buttons. That one triple triggers me. Not like Pat does it, she doesn't lah.
Well, I think we all should go for couples therapy.
Wait, so now we know if you want John to do something, he'll regret just egg him on to do it.
Yeah.
Hey, a bonus give I dare you give me bonus.
And Shomi never saw a bonus again till today.
Then she got fired.
No, but that's why, right? I feel like I know that about myself, that I don't allow myself to get angry at things. Like,
Oh.
like if you can see, I rarely get angry at stuff anymore. Like actually, I don't get angry at stuff. Yeah. Yeah, like I really like a lot of things that piss people off wouldn't piss me off anymore. Because I feel like I know Or maybe that's how I made, you see. Because my button's so easy to press, right? So it was very well hidden, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, I think no matter what, like violence should never be condoned, and I think absolutely violence to this level should never be condoned, right? But I think I have been in situations where I was absolutely filled with rage for like one reason or another, right? And I know the feeling of like a completely different you taking over, and I'm like saying shit which I would never have said on a normal basis. I am taunting people, and I'm like being aggressive when I'm not normally like that because of rage. And I can completely understand how a situation like this could be completely not representative of who the person is. We don't know who this person is.
I mean, he could be an asshole.
Yeah. But I think immediately in that moment, right, I didn't feel sympathy for him.
Yep.
But I felt like if I was put in that situation, it wasn't out of the question for me to do something like that. And I wouldn't do that on a normal basis. But if something so crazy made me rageful, right, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility, which is actually made me more afraid of myself actually after that.
Very scary, human beings. Like if there's a trigger point, right, we can just flip.
Yeah, it's like a breaking point.
Yeah, 'cause it's so fragile, right? This entire society that we live in on like certain rules of like, you cannot steal, you cannot keep up. I'm hungry as shit. My wife and children's hungry as shit. There's bread on the table. There's crumbs on the floor. That guy is just talking. The food is just left there. Can I just go there and just grab the baguette and run or not? Like,
Baguettes, yeah.
Yeah,
So many rules.
It's like this weird rule-based game that we all play, and you can look at it like in games that the human mind concocts, right? It's that if I want to be number one, I will kill my competitors, right? If there is things on the floor, it's loot. We will take loot because gold's on the floor. Gold's mine. I found gold on the floor, right? And this is the games that we sit down and be like, what would we want to play? And we create shit like this. And the world we live in, right, has a bunch of enforced rules, right, that sometimes don't make sense to someone that's desperate.
Like, I always think of it this way, right? Like, we assume the best in everybody, in which, like, if you drive on the road, right, and like there's a pedestrian crossing, and you just so freely walk because you know that person's gonna stop, but you never know whether a madman, right, is on like behind a wheel.
You're just gonna step on the
and he's just gonna step, or he's just gonna like crash into everybody like without warning. And like we just live thinking that, you know, everybody is driving with the same assumption that we're all life preservers.
It was the same thing. Like I'm a very bad cyclist, right? So whenever I cycle at the pavement, then everyone would just, when they walk towards me, right,
They run.
No, they believe, right? They trust their life with me. Like they will know that I will dodge. Yeah. But I'm damn scared. I was like,
same.
yeah, right.
The other time I went cycling also, and it was like pro bike. So it goes quite fast. Like you cannot go slowly on that bike. And everyone's just like walking and they don't care, but they don't know I'm so terrified for them.
Correct. And they just entrust you. Like they just trust you. Wow.
So like you bring this back, right? There's so much trust required for us to function as a society. And I'm sure in this restaurant, right, this person was probably just their colleague that just snapped one day. And now you're like, oh my god, my colleague just slashed his wife. Like, can you imagine like us in the workplace and someone just randomly starts getting like very violent? It's very, very...
I can totally imagine in the situation where somebody is like, I will slash you. Then I'll be like, slash you. And then he really take out the thing, right? I still won't run. I will still think he won't slash.
Yeah.
I will still taunt him until I get slashed. This is how I die.
Maybe she didn't run.
This is how I die. This is exactly how I would die. Yeah.
You seeing the best in people.
No, it's just
while
like you just
person.
don't think they would, lor.
Right.
You would, man. You know what I mean? Like, I slash you, then the guy really take out now you start running, man. No,
I feel
until he try to make a swap at you, you still don't think it's real, ma, right? I feel like this is the world that I live in.
But you all think that people are really so inherently good, man. Like you look at all the rubbish like happening everywhere, fighting, then random people start lighting elderly on fire. And then
what the heck was that? I saw
yeah.
that on the sheet. We have a planning sheet.
If you're wondering why I always look at my laptop.
This conversation is not freestyle.
Oh no, no one's gonna watch anymore.
But yes, it's just like a prank, lor. Like they just ran up and then I tried to light, then ran away. But
why
he
would that
didn't
person
catch fire lah. He tried to try to burn the clothes, but it didn't actually happen. But I'm wondering, like, do people really not want to hurt people, or is it just based on the laws of society, like you mentioned, right? In order for society to function, we cannot harm one another, and then therefore it's like that. But actually, humans suck.
I feel like all humans are selfish. I don't think they're all inherently bad. It's whether you think selfishness is bad, lah. So for example, right, everyone is looking out for themselves, right? So they definitely don't want to go to jail. So they definitely stick by the law, not necessarily do the right thing, but so they won't go to jail. But I also feel like the most like charitable person, the person who volunteers, right, is also selfish because they're doing it to feel good for themselves. So at the end of the day, it's always for self-benefiting, like.
But it just so happened to be a
reasons,
win-win for society also.
The outcome is great, lor, and so we're not going to complain about it.
There's this performative art that really sticks out to me. It's like my favorite like art pieces of all time.
So arty person.
Yeah, nice. So it's called Rhythm Zero. So the artist, right, is actually
Sounds arty.
throughout her career as an artist, she's obsessed with the idea of like interaction with the audience, that kind of stuff. So she had an exhibition where she was just standing in the
Is she
middle
European,
of her
that one?
space. Yeah.
It sounds European.
She was standing like in the middle of a space, right? And then in front of her, there's a long table with 72 items. So it can be a lot of things, but it's so extreme to the point where there are knives, there are razor blades, there's a gun with a bullet, there's a bullet
There's
there.
like pen also, marker.
Yeah, correct. So she stand in the middle, and then it's just the mandate to the audience is that 6 hours, I'm not going to move. You can do anything you want to me. So she starts off normal, like if I just stand up like that, right? At first, people go up to her, and what they do is like they turn her around, or they just lift up her hand, that kind of thing. Eventually, it slowly started escalating to like mild acts of sexual assault. So maybe they touch her breast or whatever. They started cutting off her clothes to the moment where she's naked, and then they started cutting her. The most gross part was, I think someone like cut her neck so they could suck her blood.
Yeah.
And then after that, people stick like rose.
What a day for that guy though. Like
Yeah.
that's why he's into that. He can't find someone.
Yeah.
Then he's like, oh my god, this must be my luckiest day.
It would never top that again, that day.
Yikes. Yeah. So then there are roses. At first, people will give her the rose. After that, they take the rose and stab it into her stomach area. Then so she really never moved lah. And I think when people realized that, it started getting so extreme to the point where there was a moment where someone loaded the gun, hold the gun to her head, put her hand around the trigger, right? And it's really, she about to die already. And in that moment, right, the audience had formed into two factions. So one half was protecting her and the other half wanted to do more things to her. So a fight actually broke out. They managed to like prevent her from shooting herself in the end. And then after that, later when the 6 hours was up, right, the announcement came out, she just started walking towards the audience, everyone ran away. Yeah. And like that says so much about like the psychology of humans to me. Like, is it really true that when left to no rules, right, like their own devices, this is what people want to do. They want to hurt other people. They want there's that thrill to it. I don't know.
Like the Purge.
I feel like it's because, right, we are too like
controlled.
Controlled in this society, right? We have to live by rules and all that. Then once there are no rules, right, we just feel like, oh, I can do this now. Just do for the fun of it because I can.
It's your way of taking back control in some sense.
Yeah.
But in the same vein, right, is it true that if everything is permitted, right, then people will just not really want to do this because there isn't that like thrill of like I'm a criminal.
Yeah. So it's
I do think so.
The fact is it's illegal. Like, it's just like how like if everyone was naked, right, porn wouldn't be that.
Wait, you said
popular.
you don't think so?
I do think so.
Oh, yeah.
Because in every age of civilization, the apex of it is a rule-based society. Even when people just came together and we kill each other and I agree, I'll eat you, At some point they came together and it became a rule-based society.
It's the forbidden fruit effect.
Nobody actually really wants that, and I think that happens because we inherently are not allowed to do that.
To liven the mood a little bit, I was going to say, when you mentioned performative art, right, I was suddenly reminded by, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it's this woman, right, who is in high heels and basically is standing on a slab of butter. And she basically just slowly starts falling down and getting up and falling down.
Of butter?
It's
I'm
like,
imagining
it's like as big
like
as this table, I think.
Right.
And it's like,
It's a huge
and
slab
she's
of
just
butter.
like falling down and getting up and falling out, and everyone's just laughing, and it's fucking funny. But it's also very
How
sad.
long? Point one,
No,
yeah,
it's,
what is the story behind that?
it's just very sad. I think it's just like everyone's reactions, like whether you feel sympathy for her or not, because
No,
it's really
but
quite sad.
She can don't do this what?
Yeah, I don't know what the purpose was. I was in secondary school and we just kept laughing and we just had it. Good. Yeah, let's not go any further with this conversation.
Oh, now I want to watch it.
Okay, I won't feel sorry for her.
Butter
She
dance,
chose
wow.
the
Butter dance gonna
then
be BTS. Oh my god, I found it.
You're gonna be damn disappointed at the visual.
Oh no.
People say we should use this TV to show all the visuals from now on. Hi Spotify, you can come to YouTube to watch that.
Is this art?
No, it feels like she's trying to fall it. Okay, fine, quite funny.
This going
Quite
on?
funny, although the butter is underwhelming.
Why would I feel sad for her? No, I feel sad that she wants to do this.
Apparently,
Okay, thank you.
The butter is a metaphor for dignity.
So I'm sleeping on dignity.
As dignity is crumbling, so is I have no idea, man.
Can we change back to the... And we're back.
And we're back to your regular programming. Hope you enjoyed that cutaway.
A book that I recommend a lot of people read is called How to Talk to Strangers by Malcolm Gladwell. It is not a guide on how to talk to strangers. It's about why...
Oh, so disappointed though.
It's a guide. And so if you haven't read Malcolm Gladwell before, he wrote like Blink and Tipping Point, and basically he likes to study human nature and psychology, right? And so it basically says why there's so many instances of like violence or like assault or whatever, right? And it always happens because we don't understand each other. So like, for example...
He wrote a book like that.
No, it's very interesting. So it starts
You
off
can write
with
book about
like,
anything nowadays. On New York Times bestseller.
it starts off with like Hitler, for example, and how Chamberlain, right, the Prime Minister of Britain at that time, went to Europe, went to Germany and met with Hitler. And Chamberlain has been known to size up people very well. He has a very good read of people. And when he met Hitler, he came back to Britain the next day and said, Hitler is not a madman. He's not going to create war.
Yeah.
You know, he's just a misunderstood person. Many people, like, he was also corroborated with like whoever was part of his party to go there, and he just completely misunderstood Hitler because he went in on the impression that everybody tells the truth. When people could be lying to you and not realize, right? There's one aspect to it. I think the other one also was that there are certain people in this world that always are just looking out for the faults in many people. So there's instances in which like black people, for example, get persecuted by police for no reason, right? Or like targeted by police for no reason. Actually, a lot of them are not actually racist, or they won't tell you that they're racist. It's just that they see the worst in people. And so if you happen to be dressed in a certain way, or you happen to be in a certain neighborhood at a certain time, they just target certain people that way lah. So like there was an instance in which a black woman, right, was in the end killed herself because she was stopped for a traffic offense, and the traffic offense was committed, right, because the police car kept tailgating her for her to commit the offense. And then when he stopped her, right, she was just lighting a cigarette, and he said like, can I see your license registration? She said, why are you stopping me? You know, you were the one that made me do this. She then lit a cigarette, and he said, can you please not smoke in front of me? And then she just said, I can do whatever I want in my car. He took that as a sign of aggression, and then told her to get out, and then handcuffed her, and that's why she was jailed, and that's why she killed herself. But it was nothing that led to something, just because both of them came from different states and misunderstood each other. And so like, I think it's
But
really,
clearly the tailgating is his fault though.
because he is of the nature that he looks for faults in people. He's part of the police that is...
Which is a good trait, perhaps, for police.
It's a good trait
officer.
in general, but then you go to the one extreme, right, and you're looking for faults from people who may not necessarily have them.
I wonder if it's come
Good
to the
story.
extent where they are taught to fear each other. So in the sense that like the whites are basically taught that like the blacks are dangerous people and all that, and so they become overly reactive when they stop someone, and then it turns out the driver is a black person, right? They get you to step out of the car, and then the police themselves might actually be very scared, although majority of the time they're just abusing their power. And then inversely, the black people are being taught to fear the policeman because there are so many incidents that happen where they are innocently killed or injured or taken in.
And that's why they react certain ways. Like when someone gets stopped, whenever they obviously didn't do anything wrong, there's already a sense of defensiveness. Like, hey, I didn't do anything wrong, why you like this? And then the policeman might take that as a sign of aggression. And if they're already someone that's looking for the faults in other people, it may be like, why are you so defensive? Maybe you did something wrong.
Exactly what you say, right? Like, both sides are being taught a certain narrative going up. It's probably for their own good and for their own better personal protection. And with certain narratives going on now, like for example, we have to protect the police, or Black Lives Matter, or the narratives that police are racist. As we continue to learn all these things, we're actually seeing negative ripple effects also, because you also see many times people try and egg the police. Like the police just ask for your license and registration.
Right.
It's like no, you have no right. You have to tell me why you stopped me. Get out of your car. No. Put your hands up. No. You know? And that's also a result of what's proliferating today. And I just had this random thought, right, that to lower or abolish racism to a certain extent, right, it's not just a matter of how much we need to learn. In fact, more so, right, is how much we need to unlearn from our experiences of what happens to people that look like this. Sorry, random thought.
Yeah. No, I think that's a really, really great point.
I was also just thinking about that. Like, has there been stuff that I have been kind of taught growing up that I've had to unlearn? Or that I've
like
unlearned?
Pat grew up the assumption, right, that like I think her mom taught her to scare her or some shit. This is gonna be damn racist. I'm gonna say it sounds racist, but it really is racist. That if you are dark skin, right, and then if someone has dark skin and then the eyes are red color, they eat humans. She grew up thinking that. And then I have this friend Hafiz, shout outs. That's why Pat is terrified of me last time. Because I don't know, he just don't sleep or whatnot, right? His eyes just always very red because he always rub his eyes.
Oh, as in bloodshot eyes.
And Pat is just terrified of him. Because she know, like, even after she grew up, right? I mean, she grew up already and she realized obviously it's not lah. But that's ingrained to her as a child because that's what her mum used to scare her with. Yeah. And that's why she's just inherently scared of this friend that turned out to be quite a good friend of mine. So are humans bad?
Yeah, but bringing it back to the conversation, it just makes me think like, should I question my moral compass if I am in a sense feeling pity or sympathy for the slasher? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can kind of understand why he's angry, right? And then plus like there's moments in the video where he's like actually like slitting his own wrist or like a bit trying to cut his own neck. So you can clearly tell that there's something going on and it's not normal. Yeah, and then I just I don't know. I was very on the fence. Like, how should I feel about this?
I think the mindset that we need to like try and avoid, right, which I think a lot of people feel, is that, oh, if you feel sorry for one, you can't feel sorry for the other. And I think you can feel sorry for both people, right? Because I think a lot of people go like, oh my god, like I pity the wife, and then now it's like, oh, I pity the guy, but then I feel bad because now like who's in the right? But both can be wrong, both can be right, and we can feel sorry for both, like. And I feel like there's clearly a lot of problems.
This is the problem with activism, huh?
Yeah, someone needs to lose in order for your cause to win, and I think that's not necessarily true, lah.
Yeah, but speaking of that, right, so BBC did like an experiment with babies lah, to see whether human beings are good.
Inherently good or bad.
Yeah, inherently good or bad, right? So these babies are like 10 months old or younger. So they did like a puppet show sort of thing. So there is three shapes. Then one shape will be trying to climb up a mountain, right? A mountain. And then one shape will be trying to push that shape down, and another shape trying to push that shape up. So at the end of the thing, right, the shapes that's stopping it from coming up and the shape that's helping it going up, right, they will put them down and show the babies lah. So which one will you pick, right? There's no storytelling. So the whole thing is just visuals. Then the baby will always pick the helper. The shape that help. Yeah. So yeah.
How about you're 10 months old though?
But yeah, that means
so at that minimal age,
No,
right?
but it doesn't necessarily prove that humans are good. It proves that humans are good until a certain age.
No, or it proves that, for
circumstance
example...
so that means they are by nature, they are good.
But by nurture, it makes them bad.
Yeah, but we don't have a control experiment to show that if they're just purely not nurtured at all, because that will make also a fucked up baby. Because I remember there being another study, right, where they showed that kids, right, they learn how to lie at 4 or 5. And is lying inherently bad? I guess, depending on the intention. So then there is a certain age in which your purity then becomes formed by natural nurture, but also your own human incentive of self-preservation. Lying helps you, essentially. So then I think we're inherently all selfish.
Who decide that killing is bad? I mean,
The
not
mother
that I'm
of the
for
victim.
killing.
There are a lot of family members.
Not that I'm for killing, but I mean, if I really wanted to argue, there could be. I mean, if there are really limited resources and then people cut down the population and then it's good for the leftover humans, right?
Yeah.
So
if there was a cult leader that promoted that cult would probably believe that.
No, that's antithetalism.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I
That's
don't
one of the
even know
reasons
that.
why they don't want people to reproduce, because like the world, we are having food shortages, we have too many overpopulation, too many people.
But it's not that they encourage killing, lah.
They don't lah, but they just don't want to
Yeah.
give birth, or like they think that human beings shouldn't like give birth. Or
Yeah.
With the
Which
procreate.
brings back to the callback of the David Attenborough
Yeah. The conclusion. Education.
Like, he built up this whole thing, right? The whole thing, right, feels like he's gonna say, let's kill 30% of us. It feels like that. You know, he kept talking about how there's not enough, there's just too much of us. So then I start watching it and thinking, yeah, okay lah, cool. This is gonna be another documentary which, honestly, what we're gonna do about, like, everybody have to kill one person, then we're good lah. Then we get this conclusion, right?
You really got to kill one.
Scary conclusion.
Yeah. No, but then in the end, all he says is that we need to support developing countries to grow their access to education.
Right.
Because educated people have less children. They're like, so clever. That's why they pay him the big bucks. That's why they pay him
Educated
the big
people
bucks.
have less
She said,
children.
like, every major developed economy has a slowing birth or falling birth rate. Even China now,
Why? What is the sign? What is the
Because when you're more educated,
sociology?
you're more likely to work in like the service industry or the third wave of industries, right? And so women and men tend to focus on their careers, and so they have kids like later in life, so they have fewer kids.
Also, the women then have access to careers that they might want to develop, as opposed to be a full-time mother to take care of 5 children.
Yeah.
So they have 1 or 0.
Yeah, so we really, really like that you guys are engaging with us, leaving a ton of comments. Some of them damn constructive, some very funny also. So we're adding a new segment to the end of every episode where we're going to reply to some of those comments from past episodes. Okay?
The episode that we had Aiken over, someone asked, is Dekosh coming back?
Okay, so if you follow us on Instagram, you might notice that we have filmed an episode with Dekosh where he tells all. And the episode is not out yet for legal reasons, and when we can, which we still intend to, the episode will go out as soon as we are legally allowed to.
Subscribe.
Good reason to subscribe. on a more recent episode, which the comment John even heart shape 3 times.
Three times.
The episode was we're moving out, improve my relationship with my parents, right? So Dian Benyatip said I can relate.
No.
Said I can really relate to Denise. My dad is very controlling and negative person. There was one time where I came home around 11 plus because I met up with my insurance agent after work. My dad called me, but I didn't hear my phone ringing because I put my phone in my bag.
Wow.
And I called back, but he didn't pick up already. So what happened was that my dad locked me out of my house. My mom was not in Singapore, so I had to crash at my friend's place for the night. And so eventually, like at the end of it, he or she basically said, sometimes I wonder if my dad is the main reason why I have commitment issues and why I'm scared that I will act like my dad to my kids in the future.
Yes. Sounds like something I will triple heart to.
I don't know how to respond to this, man. Like when I was a lot younger, right, I had this same threat to me before, like kind of like being afraid of being thrown out of the house, right? And I had secretly went around to some of my closer friends, asking them like hypothetically, like, hey, if I need a place to stay, right, can I go to your place? Like for fear that if at night, right, I really get locked out, whose place can I go to automatically, you know?
You can come to my place, okay?
Okay, thanks.
Don't buy yourself.
Now I got many options.
Yeah. She's trying to say no thank you.
But yeah, so I feel like I relate to that lah. But I think when it comes to thinking about your dad, whether he is the cause of these commitment issues, right, like the solution to that,
Yeah.
it's not just thinking about like, hey, is it because of him? Everything that I do is because of him. Yeah, but then like, I mean, maybe go to therapy or what. Like,
I think it's
talk it
looking at
out
your
with
locus of control though. I think.
Also, my
many
mom actually
people-
had a conversation with me after this episode went out. I don't think she saw the episode, but I think because my dad spoke to her about me wanting to move out. Then she cried on, like she apologized to me. Yeah, it's like the first time ever. It's like I'm Jade Rasif and she's the government, you know that vibe.
Wow. Random reference.
Just cut that part and say I'm Jay Rasi.
But yeah, so then and she did say that like on her end, she did explain like what we talked about on the episode, right? That she's not trying to push me away. Like she's trying to say come back earlier, but then it's just not her way of saying it lah. So I think like it did like soften my heart quite a bit also lah, and like I try to go back earlier now.
Growth, development.
I want to say though, like beyond that, it's not about being at home. I think it's making plans with the both of you.
She did mention that also.
Yeah.
She said like now that my dad has off days, because back in the day, right, when my dad ran his own shop, he didn't have off days. It's like only Chinese New Year. So he has that feeling of like he worked his entire life away and he missed my brother and I's childhood.
Yeah.
So then now that he has off days, right, I think like he did mention like, oh yeah, let's go out for brunch, all those. So my mom did say like make plans with them lah. So I think
I want to say Klook has like great family stuff to do. Serious.
Still finding it.
I don't know why I'm plugging. No, but it's really very fun, guys. It's like a 4-hour day, 6-hour day. You just book.
There was something in the episode that I wanted to say that I didn't get, like I've completely forgot about, right? But it was an article that I remember reading in 2015, and another Twitter influencer like brought it up recently, which was about looking at the remaining time in your life left, right, in terms of activities or experiences, and knowing that I moved out from my house when I was 14. 14 years, like in those 14 years, right, I spent nearly every single day with my parents. So you take 14 times 365, right? It's about 5,110. 5,000 give or take.
how you do the
I did the calculation.
Okay,
Camera tricks, camera magic.
It's calculator.
Right? But like give or take, I've spent 5,000 days with my parents growing up. And then ever since like I moved out, right? Maybe like I spend like, I'll go back like maybe once or twice a year. Anyway, right? I maybe spend about 6,000 days with them already. Now I go back once a year to Malaysia and maybe spend 5 days there. If I probably have 20 years left with them, right? That's 20 times 5 days left, which is
100.
100 days. 100 over 5,000, right? Means that I already spent 99% of all my time with my parents, right? Already. I only have 1% left with them.
Oh,
And when I thought about when I thought about that, right, I just started.
Sorry, we need to cut first.
Like I started bawling when I realized that.
Yeah, I mean, okay lah, but yours a bit extreme lah. You all separate countries though.
But you like think about that in terms of like, say you had friends who move overseas, and then every time they come to town, right? You might be like, oh, do I want to go there? Like, do I want to go out with them or not? And then you go, okay lah, you know that person doesn't come down often. But then if you think about it, like how many times do they actually come back? Once every 5 years, and you calculate that times the rest of your life, how many times you have left?
That really puts things into perspective.
So all those people who have like trouble with your parents right now, right? You go and start open with this story. Then after that, then you talk to them about whatever problem you have.
Then you also start crying. Then the conversation goes nowhere.
Soften them up a bit. Then soften them up a bit. Then after that.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this episode of the Daily Ketchup podcast. If you like what you watch, like the video. Also subscribe to this channel and we'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.